Hey guys, I'm Leanne, the Kiwi Yogi. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thanks for joining me. Today we're going to go through a nice power flow to get the blood pumping, the heart rate increased, and to help move the body in these stagnant times. So make sure you grab your mat. If you need some water, have it standing by, and we'll get started. We want to be a little stronger. Alright, so today we're going to get started. We're going to sit up onto a block. If you don't have a block, that's okay. You can just grab a cushion to sit up onto, but we're just going to get some height through the hips. Take the knees nice and wide. Let the knees fall heavy if you are sitting cross-legged. So you want them to surrender down to the floor. We're going to close down our eyes and we're just going to arrive for our practice. Notice how you're feeling as you arrive onto the mat. Arriving into the space of your practice, noticing how you feel, how the breath flows in and out of the body. It's releasing tension through the shoulders and the neck, releasing the jaws, softening through the lower body. Continue to breathe, flowing the breath in, releasing the breath out. Start to deepen the breath a little more. Take a full breath in through both nostrils. And a big sigh out. Let's do 2 more of those. Breathing in through the nostrils. Sigh it out. Final one. Sigh it out. Beautiful. Taking 5 quiet breaths here, directing the breath in a little deeper now. Keep reaching out through the crown of the head. Keep breathing all the way down into the belly. One more breath. Full breath out. From here, take your hands to your heart center. Palms pressed together. Thumbs point back toward the heart. Take a time here to set your sankalpa, your intention or your heart's desire, bringing in your heart's desire for your practice. So this can be one word, a short sentence, or a mantra. Whatever it is, it's unique to you. Take time to breathe that sankalpa into the body as you inhale. And as you exhale, release any resistance around it out. Slowly begin to open your eyes. Allow the light and the space in. Interlace the fingers and press the palms to face forward. Stretching through the inside of the wrists, through the palms, drop the shoulders away from the ears, squeeze the shoulder blades in towards each other. As you inhale, float your hands towards the sky. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Feel the sides of the waist become nice and long. Stretching. From here, take the hands over to one side. Stretching through side of body. Smooth breath in. Long exhale out. Inhale, come back to center. And come over to the other side on your exhale. Full breath in. Keep pressing through the palms. Squeeze the elbows in towards each other. Sides of body long. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, release your hands. Nice. Let's just make fists with the wrists. We're going to start to roll the wrists. Rolling the wrists. And we're going to move our way into the elbows. Just start to circle the elbows. And then taking the hands to the top of the shoulders, start to roll the shoulders open, drawing the elbows forward and taking them back behind. Beautiful. Take it the opposite direction now, drawing the elbows forward. And then coming back to the elbows, drawing the elbows in. And come back to the wrists, rolling the wrists in. Nice, let's shake out the wrists. From here, we're going to come over onto our child's pose, or we're going to come over into our child's pose. So we're going to take child's pose to the back of the mat. Take the big toes to touch, the knees nice and wide. Okay, make sure the spine is nice and long. And then from here, keeping the bottom sinking back towards the heels, just start to creep the fingers forward and soften the forehead down towards the floor. Lengthen the fingers forward, so nice active hands here, reaching the fingers forward so sides of waist become quite long. You feel the stretch down the outside of the arms and sides of ribs. And then press through the fingertips as you press the hips back towards the heels. Let's take 3 breaths here. Full breaths into the belly. Long exhales out. Breathe all the way into the belly. Full exhale out. That's one more of those breaths. Inhale. And exhale. Slowly rise on up into our hands and knees from here. We're going to come into a tabletop position. So draw the knees beneath the hips, hands beneath the shoulders. Spread your fingers nice and wide. So nice long spine here. Let's move through Baddhalasana, cat and cow, just to warm the spine a couple of rounds. So as you exhale, press out through the hands, drop the head, draw the belly in. As you inhale, you're going to lead forward with the heart, drop the belly down, broaden through the collarbones, and lift the chin. Nice. Exhale, round through the spine, arching the upper back, tuck the tailbone under, press through the hands firmly. Inhale, draw the chest forward, peeling the collarbones broad, and turning the sit bones up. Let's take 2 more rounds each way, breathing into back of body and drawing the heart forward, lengthening front of body. Final round, move with your breath. And exhale, leading forward. Come back to neutral spine. Let's start to engage the core a little more. So you can walk your hands a little further forward. You want to take your shoulders so they're over top of the wrists and shuffle your knees back. So coming into a kneeling plank. So drop the hips forward toward the floor a little. Try not to collapse down. Engage the belly, lengthen, then tuck the tailbone under. Keep pressing through the hands, lifting the heart away. Breathing here. Full breath in. As you exhale, we're going to lower down chaturanga to the floor. So let the chest come down, elbows come alongside the ribs. Pick up the legs, lengthen them back. Tops of feet press down, squeeze the legs on, elbows alongside the ribs. Fingers pointing forward as you inhale. Come through into your baby cobra, opening through front of body. As you exhale, release the forehead down. Inhale, opening up, baby cobra. Exhale, releasing down. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, releasing forehead down. From here, tuck your toes, press out through hands and knees, back through kneeling plank, and shift the hips back into your child's pose. Sinking the bottom down, lengthening the arms forward. Nice. Let's take a little bit more through the core now. Inhale, rise on up. Tabletop position, hands beneath the shoulders, knees drawing in underneath the hips. So from here, let's start to draw the belly button in, press out through the hands. And then from here, extend the right toes back, toes to the floor. Lift the knees, squeeze the glute. Breathing in, draw the belly button in, tuck the tailbone under. Either staying here or start to hover the toes up off the floor, squeezing the glute, lift the toes up and away. So you want the heel in line with the buttocks, no higher. Keep the hips facing down, thighs squeezing in towards each other. Breathing there. One more breath. Nice. Exhale, release the leg down. Release the knee down. Let's change sides. So extend the left leg long, toes to the floor. Draw the belly button in, press out through the hands. And then when you did on the other side, either lifting the toes or keeping the toes to the floor, keep that activation. Drawing the belly in, squeeze the inner thighs in towards each other. Full breath in. Long exhales out. Slowly release the left foot down, release the knee down. Nice, let's come back up, seated into a nice kneeling position here. So let's just roll through the wrists, rolling the wrists in one direction and taking them the opposite direction. So if you get a lot of wrist pain, so it's really nice release, shake them out. Let's come back over and take that a little deeper now. So core in, belly button draws in, hands beneath the shoulders, knees beneath the hips. So shuffle them a little bit further back than you think they need to be. And then from here, extend the right toes back behind you, leg is nice and long, toes pointing to the floor. And then from here, start to engage the glute, lift the leg up. Draw the belly button in, press out through the hands. And then keep pressing through the right hand. You might want to engage and draw the left arm forward, palm facing in. Keeping that core nice and strong. Feel the inner thighs squeeze towards each other. Breathing in. Nice. As you exhale, draw elbow towards the knee, rounding the spine. Lift the chest away from the floor. Inhale, lengthen the limbs away. Exhale, draw them in. We're going to do one more lengthen here. All the way nice and long, keep body strong. Exhale, draw it in. And this time as you lengthen away, you're going to bend your right knee, reach your left arm back and behind, take hold of the foot or toes or ankle and start to open up through side of body. Feeling the squeeze through the glute, opening, breathing, and release to the floor. Awesome, let's round the spine, tuck the tailbone under, and let the head hang down here. Come back to neutral spine. Let's take that to the other side. So extend the left leg back, toes to the floor. Breathing there, either staying there or engaging the glute and lifting the left toes up off the floor. Either staying there. Remember, this is your practice. Squeeze the inner thighs in towards each other. Or you can lengthen your right arm forward, pressing out through left palm. Palm facing in. Breathing there. Keep lifting away from the floor, core is engaged, thighs squeeze in towards each other. And let's do 3 curls. So rounding in, elbow towards the knee, rounding the spine. Inhale, lengthen away. Exhale, draw it in. Lengthen it away. You've got one more curl in here. Before you lengthen the limbs away, toes pointing down, I should say, and then bend that left knee, reach back with your right hand, taking hold of the foot, ankle, or shin, and start to lift the toes up towards the floor. Lift the toes up towards the sky, opening through the chest. Squeeze the bottom on, open up, and release. Shake it out. Nice, sitting back onto the heels here, release the wrists, make fists with the wrists, and gently roll the wrists. Opposite direction, and release. Perfect. From here, keep your bottom back towards your heels, knees together. Let's lengthen the arms forward for child's pose, resting the forehead down. So from here, we're going to come up into our first down face dog. So make sure your hands are shoulder width apart. Rock the weight forward, tuck your toes. Feet are hip width apart, and then pressing out firmly through the hands to squeeze your core on, lift your hips up, straighten through the arms without locking out your elbows. And then from here, just bending one knee and taking the opposite heel down toward the floor. Walking out your down dog, stretching through the hamstrings, let the weight of the head hang down, looking back between or toward the thighs. Let's soften the heels down, take a full breath in, long exhale out. One more breath, full exhale. From here, you're going to take your right leg toward the sky, 3-legged dog, and then curl the knee towards the chest and step the foot forward to the inside of the right thumb. Come down onto your back knee and sit down through the hips into a low lunge. So fingertips to the floor, either side of the front foot. Broaden through the collarbone, open through the heart, and drop the hips down. Breathing there. One full breath. Exhale, take the palms down, step the right foot to meet the left, press back to down face dog. Full breath in, long exhale out. Inhale, take your left leg toward the sky, 3-legged dog, opening up. So you exhale, curl the knee towards the chest, step the foot forward to the inside of left thumb, and come down onto your right knee. Again, low lunge, sitting down through the hips. Full breath in, long exhale out. Take the hands back down to the floor, step the left foot back to meet the right, come back into your down face dog. Soften the heels down as you exhale. Take a full breath in, long exhale out. From here, keep your hands planted down into the mat, bend your knees and start to walk your feet all the way towards the front of your mat. Take the big toes to touch, heels apart, and let's take a ragdoll, or
Uttanasana, forward fold. So you can take your hand to opposite elbow and let the weight of the head and the torso fold over the legs, letting all the tension out of the shoulders and the neck. Maybe just giving a little nod and shake of the head, releasing sides, front and back. Release the hands to the floor, press through the feet, and start to roll up the spine super slow all the way to standing.
The last thing to lift is the head, arriving back up into standing. Peel through the collarbones, open through the heart. Feel the crown of the head reaching up toward the sky. Feel the grounding down through the feet. Take a moment here, standing in Tadasana, grounding down. Draw the belly in. Lift the heart up. On your inhale, you're going to float your hands up towards the sky. Palms touch above the head. As you exhale, you're going to fold forward, hinging from the hips. Take the fingertips to the floor. Come into your halfway lift, flat back. As you exhale, slide your fingers back in line with the heels, and you're stepping your left foot back into a lunge position. Take the back knee to the ground if you need to for this round. Open through the heart. Full breath in. Nice. And as you exhale, take your left hand to the floor, right fingertips cup, and step your right knee back to meet the left. Take both palms down into the floor. As you exhale, we're going to lower down, chaturanga. So from a half plank position, lowering down, elbows graze alongside the ribs, the chest comes down first. Inhale, baby cobra, so squeeze the legs, press tops of feet down, fingers press down into the floor, no weight through the hands if need be, and draw your elbows in towards each other, opening through the chest. Exhale, release the forehead down. Tuck your toes, press out through hands and knees, back through kneeling plank, one line with the body, and shift the hips back before you engage the core and lift the hips back into your down face dog. Softening your heels down as you exhale. Take a full breath in and a long exhale out. Beautiful. And then from here, take your right leg toward the sky, three-legged dog. Curl the knee towards the chest, step the foot forward to the front of your mat. Inside of the right thumb, step down through the hips, knees or toes. Step the left foot to meet the right and fold over your legs. Inhale, rising on up, palms touch above the head. Exhale, release, hands to heart center. Let's move on to the other side. Inhale, reach the hands up, palms touch. Exhale, fold forward, hinging from the hips. Uttanasana. Come into your halfway lift. Adho Uttanasana, halfway. Exhale, release your fingers in line with the heels, and this time step your right foot back into your lunge position. Come down onto the back knee, sit down through the hips, open through the heart. And then from here, you're going to take your right hand to the floor, left fingertips cup the floor. Take your left foot to meet your right. Come back into a kneeling plank. So hands beneath the shoulders, fingers point forward. As you exhale, you're going to lower down, chaturanga to the floor. Lowering down through the chest, squeeze the legs, tops of feet press down, kneecaps lift. Inhale, baby cobra. Squeeze the shoulder blades in towards each other, belly draws in. Exhale, release the forehead down. Tuck the toes, press out through hands and knees, kneeling plank. Shift the hips back, engage the core, lift the hips up, press back to down face dog. Soften the heels down as you exhale. Take a full breath in. Exhale, release the head. From here, you're going to take your left leg toward the sky, three-legged dog, and then step the foot forward to the front of your mat, low lunge, knee or toe, open through the chest. Step your right to meet your left, and fold over the legs. Uttanasana. Inhale, rising on up, palms touch above the head. Exhale, release, hands to your heart center. Let's step this up. Inhale, reach the hands up, palms touch. As you exhale, take your arms wide this time. Let's take a swan dive, releasing to the floor. Let the head hang down. Come into your halfway lift, fingertips to the floor, hands to the shins, flat back. Slide your fingers in line with the heels and step your left foot back into your lunge. Again, option to keep the back knee to the ground or squeeze the back thigh, lifting the back knee up, open through the heart. Take the left hand to the floor, right hand to the right knee or thigh, and start to turn over toward your right. Stay an option here, twisting through the spine, or maybe extend your top hand toward the sky. Keep squeezing that left thigh. Exhale, release the right hand to the outside of the right foot, fingertips to the floor, and step your right foot back into a plank position, knees or toes, your practice. As we exhale, we're lowering down, chaturanga to the floor. Inhale, baby cobra, or perhaps upward facing dog. Breathing through the chest, breathing into the belly. Nice, drop the knees down, shift the hips back, and transition your way back slowly into your down face dog. Take the hips high. As you exhale, soften the heels down. Take one full breath in. Long exhale out. Inhale, take your right leg toward the sky, three-legged dog. Curl the knee towards the chest, step the foot forward to the front of your mat. Sit down through the hips, broaden through the collarbones. Nice, step your left to meet your right, fold over your legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, rising on up, palms touch above the head. Exhale, release, hands to heart center. Let's take another round on the right side, the left side. Inhale, exhale, folding forward. Exhale. Let's take another round on the right side. Exhale. Let's take another round on the left side. As you inhale, float the hands up. As you exhale, take the arms wide, swan dive toward the floor. Halfway, left fingers to the floor, hands to the shin. And exhale, release fingers in line with the heels, Uttanasana. Step your right foot back into your low lunge, sitting down through the hips, broaden through the collarbones. Awesome. From here, take your right hand to the floor. If you can, take your left hand to the thigh and turn it over toward your left. Option to stay here if you like, or extend your left hand towards the sky. Reaching up, full breath in, keep squeezing that back right leg. Exhale, release the left hand, fingertips to the floor, and step the left foot back so you're in a plank position. Come down to the knees if you need to. Otherwise, we're lowering down, chaturanga to the floor. Inhale, baby cobra. We're turning tops of feet over, upward facing dog. Squeeze the thighs on. They're up off the floor, open through the heart. Nice, drop the knees to the ground, shift the hips back if you're an up dog, and then tuck in the toes, slowly transition back into your down face dog, releasing your lower back nice and gently. Soften your heels down as you exhale, release the head. Awesome, from here, take your left leg toward the sky. Awesome. From here, take your left leg toward the sky, three-legged dog. Curl the knee towards the chest, step the foot forward to the front of your mat. Low lunge. Sit down through the hips, making sure your knee doesn't surpass the ankle. Step the right to meet the left and fold over the legs. Inhale, rising on up, palms touch above the head. Exhale, release, hands to heart center. Close down your eyes. So just feeling the heart beating in the chest and the blood pumping in your veins. Allow the breath to naturally lengthen and smooth out, allowing softness to fall through your entire body. Take one more breath here. Exhale, gently release your hands and give a little shake out through the body. Let's move into some balance from here. So we're going to move through tree pose. So just making sure that you can see, we're going to take the feet hip width apart with the toes to face forward. And then from here, take the hands to the hips and we're going to focus on a dristi. So tree pose, Vrksasana is nice and simple. We're just gazing forward, finding balance through the legs, and I'll give you a couple of different options for this. So first we're going to shift the weight into the left foot and you're going to pivot the right toes to face out toward the right side. The knee goes with it. So you'll notice that the right heel can turn in towards the inside of the left ankle bone, and you're pulling and squeezing the outer thigh on to open up through inner thigh. Turn the hips to face forward and keep the toes to the ground. If that's where your balance is today, then stay here. Stay here so that you can just focus on breathing and just grounding down through the left foot. Otherwise, option to take the sole foot up into the calf and just squeezing that outer glute on to pull that hip open. Gazing forward to a dristi, a focus point for you to maintain your eye gaze. Or you have the option of taking the sole foot up into the thigh, pressing thigh into the foot and foot into the thigh. Nice. Have the toes point down toward the floor and externally rotate that knee a little bit wider. Take the hands to heart center and relax through the shoulders. Lots of wobbles today. So don't worry if you're wobbling, shaking, or you're feeling that energy through the left ankle. Just try to soften through with the breath. From here, hands to press, staying there, or reach the fingers up. As you exhale, soften the palms away, opening up your beautiful tree. Opening up, grounding down through the left foot, feeling that ankle negotiate, strengthen. Feeling everything come up from the sole of the foot all the way to the crown of the head. Take one more breath. As you exhale, take your hands back in towards each other, come down through heart center and release the right foot. You're going to draw your knee in towards the chest and hug it up and in. From here, take the hands to the hips and start to extend the foot forward to the front of your mat. Squeeze the thigh on, and then from here, we're just going to release the foot down. Nice job. Shake out the left. Let's come on straight onto the other side, grounding down through both feet. Feet hip width apart, toes facing forward. Shift the weight now into the right side, and you're going to externally rotate the left toes and knee out toward the left, taking the same option you did on the other side, grounding down through the toes, or perhaps playing with lifting, taking the sole of foot to the inside of the calf, focusing on your drishti from here, and then or your option of taking the sole foot to the inside of the thigh, pressing thigh into foot, foot into thigh. Take your hands to your heart center, relax through the shoulders and soften through the face. Grounding down, full breath in. Option to stay here or extend your fingers towards the sky and exhale, soften your palms away. Relax the shoulder blades away down the spine. Feel the heart opening, lifting through the sternum. Crown of head reaching up toward the sky. Take a full breath in. Long exhale out. And just coming down through heart center on your exhale. From here, releasing the left foot, hug the knee towards the chest, hugging it in. And then release the hands to the hips, keep hugging the knee up and in. And start to extend the left leg forward now. Toes curling in towards the shins, squeeze the thigh on, and slowly release. Shake out both legs. How was your balance today, guys? So from here, we're just going to come to the back of the mat now, and just facing toward the front. Take the feet hip width apart. We're going to have a little play with Virabhadrasana 3, Warrior 3, okay? So from here, take your hands to your hips, and then from here, we're going to step forward with the left foot to the center of your mat. Take the foot to the center of the mat and bend through the left knee heavily. Turn the hips to face forward, squeeze the thighs in towards each other. And then from here, start to shift the weight forward into the left leg and start to just take the right tippy toes to the floor. Press through the sole of the foot, lift the torso up and away, feeling the thigh come into the hip socket. Breathing there, option to stay there, or start to squeeze your right glute on and start to lift the right leg up. Taking the torso parallel to the floor, head nice line with the spine, crown of head reaching forward, squeeze the left glute, keep squeezing the thighs in towards each other. Lengthen the fingers back and behind, keep gazing down toward the mat. I'll let you know when to come out. Breathing deep, full breath in. As you exhale, now release your fingertips to the floor beneath your shoulders. Nice, release the head down. Keep squeezing, pressing out through the left leg. Start to squeeze and lift the right leg a little bit higher. Let the head go, standing split. This doesn't have to look any way like a full split, just grounding down. Nice, from here, open through the heart. And then we're going to take a challenge. So we're going to come into Ardha Chandrasana. If you can't quite reach the floor and you've got a block nearby, pop the block in underneath your left hand. So hand beneath the shoulder and take your right hand to the right hip. Start to flex the right toes in and start to peel your body open toward the right. Finding your balance, gazing down to the floor. And staying here, squeezing that right thigh on, or maybe extend your right hand up toward the sky. So you're working on turning your torso over toward the right. Everything will wobble and shake. Full breath in. As you exhale, we're going to change sides. So you're going to take your right hand to the block now, hips face down, and start to turn the chest over toward the left. Reversed Ardha Chandrasana. Keep pressing through the bottom foot. One more breath. Exhale, release. Take the fingertips to the floor and release the right foot down. Big toes touch and fold over the legs. Let the head hang down. Take a full breath in. Exhale it out. Let's take Padahastasana from here. So you're going to lift up your feet. Slide your hands in underneath the feet. The fingers pointing back toward the heels. The back of the hands resting on the floor. Let the head hang down. And start to draw your elbows wide, bending the elbows. Bend your knees if this is too much for your hamstrings. Otherwise, start to press through the feet, lift the hips high, and start to draw your chest in toward the thighs. Stretching through backs of legs. Full breath in. Long exhale out. One more breath. Slowly releasing after your exhale, taking fingertips to the floor. Bend through the knees nice and deep. I'm going to rise on up super slow. All the way to standing. Woo! Hope you guys felt good about that one. It's always a good challenge. So we're going to come on to the other side. So step back to the back of your mat once more. Toes facing forward. Feet hip width apart. So this time we're going to step forward with the right leg, so to the center of your mat. So take the hands to the hips, step forward to the center of your mat. Keep the hips facing forward, squeeze the thighs in towards each other, and start to shift the weight into the right leg, bending through the knee to begin with. From here, start to squeeze the left thigh on, and maybe even start to lift the toes. You don't have to lift the toes at all. You can just have the hips facing down and balance with just gently hovering them above the floor. Otherwise, coming into your full warrior three, extending your fingers back and behind. Keep pressing through the right foot. Keep lengthening the crown of head long. Shoulders away from the ears, press them towards the hips, squeeze that back leg on, press through the right leg. Take one more breath here. Feel the wobbles, shakes. As you exhale, release the fingers to the floor beneath your shoulders. We're taking that standing split. So just releasing the head, hang down, squeeze the left leg, and lifting it up toward the sky as you fold over the right leg. Breathing in. One more breath. Nice. And then from here, coming into our Ardha Chandrasana. So keeping the balance through the right leg, taking the block underneath the right hand, right shoulder if it's there. And then from here, just take the left hand to the left hip, flex the left toes in towards the shin, and you're going to start to peel the body over toward the left. So torso facing over toward the left, staying there, or start to extend the left hand toward the sky. Squeezing the left thigh on, lift the foot a little higher. 2 breaths here. Breathing deep. As you next exhale, release. We're going to change it into a reverse Ardha Chandrasana. Now if that's not an option for you, then release the fingers to the floor. Otherwise, taking the left hand to the block, right hand to the right hip, just squaring the hips off, or extending the right hand towards the sky. Breathing there, opening up. One more breath. Exhale, release. Pop the block off to the side, slowly release the left leg, and just fold over the legs, feet a little bit wider than big toes to touch, and folding, surrendering over, feeling the outside of the hips, back of the legs lengthen. Alright, so let's take a big toe bind from here. So we're going to take a piston grip. So your second and third finger on both hands, you're going to take to the inside of the big toes. And so the fingers point in towards each other as they come between this big toe and the second toe, taking them underneath the big toe. Draw your elbows wide this time. Start to squeeze the torso in towards the thighs, let the head hang down. So bend your knees if you need to, taking belly toward the thighs. Or start to press through the feet and open through the back of the legs a little more. One more breath. Exhale, release, straighten through the arms. Take the fingertips to the floor. Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, fold over, Uttanasana. Bend through the knees, you're going to press out through the feet, rise on up, super slow. All the way back to standing. Hello legs, are you awake? Let's go. So step into the front of the mat, take the big toes to touch and heels apart. And just facing forward to begin, ground down through the feet, lengthen through the spine. And then from here, we're going to take the hands to the hips. And we're going to step back with our right foot first. Right foot backed onto a 45-degree angle. Let's take warrior two from here. So see how those balance through the legs are now. I'm going to bend through the front knee, making sure that the knee doesn't surpass the ankle. And we're going to keep the torso stacked atop of the hips. From here, lengthen the arms long. Start to sit down into your seat. So keep grounding down through the back edge of the back foot and keep squeezing that front heel in so that the knee doesn't collapse in on the left leg. Draw the belly in, tuck the tailbone under, gazing forward over the front left middle finger. Breathing there. Full breath in. Long exhale out. From here, flip the front palm to face up. We're going to reverse up our warrior as we sweep the sky with the left hand. Open through side of body, open through the heart. Breathe in. And as you exhale, we're going to come into extended side angle. So take your left elbow to the top of the left thigh. Inhale, sweep the right arm forward and up like a swimmer all the way towards the top of your mat. So we don't want to round over. We want to reach those hands up. So you've got a nice stretch down the right hand side of the body. Keep bending through the left knee and just press that left shoulder down towards the floor. Full breath in. Long exhale out. Slowly rise on up with your next inhale, coming back into warrior two. Breathe in. And then from here, flip the palms to face up, straighten through the front leg and take the palms to touch above the head. As you exhale, come back down into your warrior two. Let's take 3 more rounds of that. Turn the palms to face up, straighten through the front leg, palms touch above the head. As you exhale, notice the control of the left knee as it bends and sits down into your warrior two. 2 more. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, come down. Final one, inhale, reaching up. As you exhale, keep the front knee nice and straight. Take the hands shoulder width apart. Take the hands level and then shift the hips back towards the back of your mat. Reach forward with your left hand and then releasing into a Trikonasana. You're going to extend the right hand towards the sky and the left hand takes hold of the front of the left shin. Gripping with the hand, pull up and away with the torso and the hands pulling away from the thigh as you turn the body over toward the right, opening through the chest. Now roll that left shoulder blade back in towards the center of the back, opening through the heart. Breathing here, sides of waist are firm, gazing out to the top hand if you like, or gazing down to the floor if it's better for the neck. 1 more breath. As you exhale, we're going to release, turning the head to face down, take the right hand to the floor, turn the back toes to face forward and release the back knee to the ground. Walk your left foot out a little wider here and come back into a low lunge. Option to stay here or you can lift the back knee, tuck in the back toe, sit down through the hips. Breathing there. Full breath in. Long exhale out. Now we're going to release that back knee to the ground. Okay, let's get a little deeper. If you're feeling a lot of sensations here, please stay here. Otherwise, take your left hand to the top of the left thigh and you're going to take that right arm and cartwheel it back in behind you, reaching toward the foot. Then if there's not too much pressure on the back knee, you're going to start to squeeze that foot in towards the bottom, taking hold of the foot from the inside of the ankle or the inside of the foot. From here, start to sit down with the hips and start to really turn the inner thighs in towards each other. Breathing deep, full breath in, long exhale out. 1 more breath. Nice, exhaling out. Slowly release. Cartwheel the hand back and over to the floor. Just taking the left foot back to meet the right. Let's move through Chaturanga Dandasana as you lower down to the floor. Inhale, baby cobra or upward facing dog. belly draws in. As you exhale, drop the knees to the ground, shift the hips back, tuck your toes, and transition back to your down face dog. Softening the heels down as you exhale. Take a full breath in. Long exhale out. Awesome. From here, take your left leg toward the sky, three-legged dog. Curl the knee towards the chest, step the foot forward to the front of your mat. And then from here, going to rise on up with control to the side, to the long side of your mat. Awesome. Take the hands to the hips, and then we're going to come on to the other side. So turn the front toes to face forward. Take the foot to the center of your mat, and take the back foot onto your 45-degree angle. From here, let's find our warrior two. Lengthen through the arms, hands shoulder width apart, hands facing down, hands in line with the shoulders. From there, start to bend through the front knee, sitting down through the hips, finding your depth of your warrior two, gazing out over the front right hand, particularly the middle finger, so you're gazing forward. Breathing in, full breath in, long exhale out. Nice, let's reverse this up from here. So turn the front palm to face up, or your right hand to face up. Reach your left hand back and behind you. Keep the front knee bent as you sweep the sky with your right hand, and reach back behind you. So opening up through the side of the ribs and the front of the hip. Keep breathing, sitting down into the seat. Full breath in. As you exhale, you're going to come up. We're going to take the right elbow to the top of the thigh. Sweep the left hand forward and up, palm facing down. Nice long line. Hands reaching up and over. Keep pressing the bottom shoulder toward the floor. Keep bending through the front knee. Breathe all the way into the belly. Full breath in. Long exhale out. Nice, let's reverse warrior that up again. Inhale, reaching it back. And coming back up, warrior two. Coming back into your warrior two. And then from here, let's move through that flow 4 rounds. So flip the palms to face up. Straighten through the front leg. Palms touch above the head. As you exhale, come back in, warrior two. 3 more. Inhale. Exhale, warrior two. 2 more. Inhale, flip the palms. Straighten through the front leg. Exhale. Final one. Inhale. And this time, keep the front leg straight as you take your arms shoulder width apart. Shift the hips back. Reach the right hand forward and the left bottom pokes behind you. Coming into Trikonasana on the other side. Release that right hand to the front of the shin and extend the left hand toward the sky. Start to turn your torso over toward the left, gazing over toward your left hand if it's okay for the neck, or just gazing down to the floor. Remember to pull up and away from that bottom leg so you're not collapsing down into it. So you want nice long space between the ear and the shoulder of both hands. Breathing there. Full breath in. Long exhale out. As you next exhale, release that left hand down to the floor. Turn the hips to face forward, pivoting on the back foot. Walk the right foot out a little wider and drop the back knee to the ground. Sitting down through the hips, low lunge, breathing into the chest. Either option to stay here. If you did so on the other side, tucking the back toes, squeezing the thigh and lifting the back knee. Keep the hips nice and low. Breathing in, long inhale. Full breath out. If you did so on the other side, you can stay here or release the knee to the ground, top of foot to the floor. As you did on the other side, you can take the right hand to the top of the thigh, lifting the torso up. You're going to cartwheel that left hand back and behind you, reaching toward the left foot. Option stay here or start to bend that left knee, taking the foot in towards the buttocks and the hand drawing the foot in. So you'll feel it all through the front of your left thigh and hip flexor as you sit down into your seat. Try to release the shoulders away from the ears, even for me to cue myself. It's nice to just let everything soften down. Squeeze the foot in. One more breath. Exhale, release that foot. Cartwheel the hand back to the front of your mat. Take the right hand to the floor. Step the right foot back into your plank. Hands to the floor, lowering down either on the knees or toes. Chaturanga to the floor. Inhale, baby cobra or upward facing dog, opening through the heart. Full breath in. As you exhale, transitioning back into your down face dog. Hips come high. As you exhale, the heels come down. Take 3 full breaths here. Letting everything out on your exhale. One more breath. Exhale it out. From here, release onto the knees. And you're just going to come over into a kneeling position. Let's just come into Ustrasana. Okay, so a camel pose, taking the option of the dancing camel or just working into your level. Okay, so just a quick tutorial to take you through, otherwise making your way into it. So you can stay seated onto the heels from here and take the hands to the floor beneath your shoulders, fingers cupping the floor. So you're pretty much opening through the heart and feel the sit bones kind of spread. So you want to just a back bend here. So poking your bottom out, lifting through the heart, tuck the chin in towards the mid-throat. Breathing here, staying there. Full breath in. Long exhale out. Now option here, if you like, is start to press through the fingers, squeeze the bottom and lift the hips up, opening through the chest. Full breath in. Long exhale out. Option to lower down if you like. If you do have lower back issues, then taking the first option to begin. Otherwise, you can take the dancing camel's position, okay? So keeping the left hand down, you're going to inhale, lift the hips, and take the right arm back. Exhale, release to the floor. Take right hand down, inhale, left hand comes up, hips open up. Exhale, release down. Let's take 3 more each side, opening up, releasing down on your exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Move with your breath. Inhale. Exhale. You don't have to come up very high, but you feel the opening through the chest. And maybe going a little deeper each time. One more time each side. Taking the full option to take Ustrasana from here. Releasing the hands to the heels. Opening through the heart. Full breath in. Lifting the chin. One more breath. Slowly rising on up. Hands to heart center, neck is long. And then exhale, releasing the bottom back towards the heels and surrendering over slowly into child's pose to release. So beautiful heart opener. One more breath. Full exhale out. Slowly start to rise on up, back into a kneeling position. So we're going to take the bottom up, take the feet wider. Now if this is no good for your knees, sitting the bottom back in between the ankles, then you can take the option of the block on the flat side underneath the bottom to give more height through the hips, and even the option to take 2 blocks, a cushion or a blanket, so that you can find a nice comfortable seat here. Opening through the heart and grounding down through the sit bones. Breathing there. Taking your practice for you. So this is heavy compression through the front of the ankles, the shins and the knees. Take an option to stay here if you like. Otherwise, option to stay here if you like, otherwise taking the option to recline if that's within your practice. So from here, just taking the hands back and behind you, fingers point towards the toes. And from here, just pick up your bottom, tuck your tailbone under, squeezing thighs on, and then relax the bottom down, spread the sit bones ever so slightly. Squeeze the shoulder blades in towards each other and open through the heart. Now, if that's enough for you, stay here. You're gonna feel a lot of pressure into the tops of the feet. Otherwise, option here, if you've got a bolster and you want to pop it in underneath the elbows to rest on, or you've got something of, a low height that you can come down onto, or maybe just coming down onto your elbows, allowing everything to soften down. Take your feet a little wider. I like to make space and have a wiggle if it doesn't feel quite right. Just adjust for your own practice. Option to stay here. Or just start to recline down fully onto your back. Now your knees might lift as you come down. Just make sure that you're tucking the tailbone under. You've got length through the front of the body. You can take your arms wide if you like, or arms up and overhead, taking hold of the wrists or the opposite elbow. You don't want to feel any pain through your lower back. You may feel a little bit of discomfort, but we want to try and soften the glutes down and open through the chest. Trying to soften the ribs down. Breathing deep. 2 breaths here. Long exhale out. And from here, slowly taking yourself back up from wherever you were, pressing through the elbows, engaging the core, coming back up onto the hands. And then from here, just making your way back over onto your bottom, releasing the feet and extending them forward. And from here, just take a rock back on your hands and just gently roll the toes in and out from each other. Releasing. Breathing there. And then from here, flex the toes in towards the shin. We're going to sit up nice and tall. So let's take a nice intense forward fold from here. So reaching through the fingers. If you've got tight hamstrings, bend your knees. And then from here, it's nice long spine. You're going to fold forward, hinging from the hips, reaching toward the toes. Okay, so if your hamstrings are quite open, keep the spine long, press out through the heels and fold forward, hinging from the hips, taking hold of the outside of the feet. And then pull your shoulders back towards the ribs and start to surrender the body forward. So this is a little active as you pull your chest. If you're holding onto the feet, ankles or shins, you're really trying to draw your body forward, crown of head reaching toward the toes. Breathing there, let the weight of the neck completely go. Full breath in. Long exhale out. Keep drawing the shoulders back toward the hips, creating space through the neck. Couple more breaths in. Final breath. Slowly releasing and slowly rising back on up. Take your hands beneath your shoulders, fingers pointing toward the top of your mat. Couple of options here as you can bend your knees. You can take a reverse tabletop, taking soles of feet down into the floor, or maybe you want to keep the legs long, or you can bend one knee and take one leg long. So lots of different options, lifting the hips up, opening through the chest, lifting up, breathing, head aligned with the spine. Smooth breath in. Long exhale out. Slowly lowering down on your exhale, lengthening the leg long. Nice. From here, let's take the soles of feet together, knees nice and wide. So from here, the closer the heels are in towards the groin, drawing them in, the more intense the stretch is going to be for the inner groin. So if you slide your feet a little further away, let the knees fall wide. And then hands resting on the shins, the ankles or the feet. We're simply going to hinge forward from the hips. And we're going to fold over toward the feet. Let the head come down, the shoulders round a little. But try to keep the spine nice and long, reaching forward towards the top of your mat.
Let the weight of the body go as you reach it forward. Perhaps you'd like to take your elbows to the inside of the knees, draw the shoulders away from the ears, pressing the knees down, opening up inner groin a little more. Full breath in. If you want to go a little deeper for this one, you can slide your hands in underneath the legs, underneath the calves, reaching the fingers forward toward the top of the mat, coming into a little turtle. Try to draw your arms in and under. Keep the spine nice and long. Breathing there. 2 more breaths. Awesome. Slowly releasing the arms if you're in the bind, and hands to the ankles. Start to rise back on up.
Beautiful. Opening through the heart. Full breath in. As you exhale, take the hands underneath the knees, draw the knees in towards each other. Shift the weight back into the bottom. Let's work through a little bit of core strength here in Navasana. So taking your bottom to the center of the mat, take the toes to touch the floor, shift the torso back slightly. Shift the torso back slightly. So you've got a nice V shape through the space between the thighs and the torso. Squeeze your shoulder blades in towards each other at the back of the body. Hands underneath the thighs to take your first option here, or maybe start to take the shins parallel to the floor. Stay here if that option is enough for you. Pulling up on the pelvic floor, drawing the belly in, the core is strong. Or maybe you like to extend the fingers forward, palms facing in towards each other. Keep squeezing the shoulder blades back and in towards each other. Option here now is either start to straighten the legs, straighten, opening through the heart, full breath in, long exhale out. 1 more breath, lift a little higher. As you exhale, release the feet down, taking that reverse plank once more. Sole the feet down, hands beneath the shoulders, opening up through front of chest, let the head come in line with the spine. Lift the hips up, squeezing the bottom. And lowering down. Awesome. Coming up into a C, coming to the center of your mat. You may even want to shuffle to the back edge of your mat. And if you've got one handy, grabbing a block. It doesn't matter if you don't have one, but if you've got a cushion or anything to keep you nice and high, you can place that block in underneath the bottom. And I take it just off my mat so that I've got more space. We're going to take a wide-legged forward fold from here. So we're going to extend the legs as wide as they'll go. And the reason for the block is because I've got my sit bones on the very front edge. So all I've got on my block is actually the fleshy part of my bottom. Okay, so I'm able to kind of get that anterior tilt to the pelvis, stretching my inner groin a little more. So it doesn't matter how wide your feet are, start to flex the toes in towards the shins, sitting up nice and tall. Now if you've got that sensation through here, then stay where you are. Otherwise, taking the hands to the floor, fingertips behind you, open through the heart, keep tilting the pelvis. So you're trying to turn the pelvis down toward the floor. Keep pulling the toes back in towards the shin, flexing them on. Option to stay here, or take your fingertips in front of the groin, keep the spine nice and long, keep flexing those toes. And then from here, just start to fold forward, hinging from the hips, reach the fingers forward, and you're folding over. Just letting the weight of the torso come forward and down. Breathing deep. Try to relax through the shoulders, softening the heart down. Take 3 to 4 breaths here. Smooth breath in. Long exhale out. Keep squeezing the thighs on, so drawing those heels down, toes up. Take 2 more breaths. Doing great. And surrendering over. After your final exhale, slowly come back up to center. If you are high, stay there. Otherwise, you're going to walk your hands over toward the left. So everybody walking your hands, one hand either side of the leg, turn your torso over toward the left. So you ultimately want the center of your torso over the center of your left leg. From here, start to walk your fingers forward, and you're just going to fold towards the left leg, getting deeper into side of body on the right hand side, shuffling the shoulders back towards the hips, breathing to the back space of the body. Breathe all the way down into the belly, the pelvis. Create space with the out breath. It's 2 more breaths there. 4 exhales. Inhale, slowly rising on up. And we'll walk over to the other side. So walking your hands over toward the right now. One hand either side of your right leg. So you can have the hands either side of the thigh or the shin if the spine's a little longer. And then start to fold forward, making sure the center of your chest is over the center of your right leg. Keep breathing, even weight through the hips, softening over toward the right leg. So you may notice that one side compared to the other might be a little tighter. That's okay, that's pretty normal. Full breath in, long exhale out. 2 more breaths, surrendering over. And that's your final exhale. Slowly rise on up, come back to center. And then from here, we're going to just pop off our block. If you are sitting on a block, popping it off underneath your bottom. And then from here, just draw your left leg in slightly towards the center. And then bend your right knee, taking the solar foot to the inside of the left thigh. Turn your torso over toward the right. So you basically want the left side of your waist to line up with the left leg here. Right hand to the floor. Slide your left hand down your left leg toward the toes or the ankle, taking hold where you can. As you inhale, float your right hand up to the sky. The arm is in line with your top ear. And as you exhale, you're going to fold over, taking the arm over toward the toes. An option here is to take your left hand to the inside of the left shin, inside of the leg, and reaching that right hand up and over, breathing here. So if you can take hold of the big toe, then do so. But we don't want the chest to collapse down facing to the floor. We want the chest to stay open with the arm in line with the top ear. So keep drawing the heart open. Draw shoulders away from the ears, pressing them back toward the hips. Breathing to side of waist, full breath in. Long exhale out. 1 more breath here. Long exhale out. As you inhale, slowly rise on up. You're going to take your right hand down to the floor, fingers point away, pressing through the hips, lifting up, opening and extending the right hand back and behind you to a wild thing. Full breath in, long exhale out, slowly release. Beautiful. Let's change that to the other side. So just draw the left leg in, extend the right leg out wide. As you did on the other side, taking the option, sliding the right hand down, take the left hand to the outside of the left hip, turning the torso over toward the left arm in line with the left side of waist and ear, sliding, opening through side of body as you reach the left hands over towards the right toes. Option you did on the other side, releasing the right hand, back of the hand to the floor, and releasing the left hand over. So my left side's a little lighter than the right side this time. Breathing there. Just allowing space to be created with the breath. Keep the chest turning up towards the sky, open heart. Shoulders pressing back toward the hips. 2 more breaths here. You can take hold of the toes for those final few breaths. Keep turning the torso up and over. Slowly releasing the left hand, rising on up. Take your left hand to the floor, behind your left hip. Gonna inhale, reach your right arm up and over, straightening through the right leg and lifting the hips up. Stretching through the right side of the body now. And coming back down to the floor. Beautiful. From here, just gonna take the left shin across the mat and take the right shin in front. I'm gonna get into the hips a little deeper. So hands resting on the knees, draw the knees wide. So this might not be as uncomfortable as you go. Perhaps you'd like to take your ankles a little further forward so that you've got more space to create and the knees fall wider. From here, you're gonna just creep your fingers forward and you're just gonna soften over, feeling the outside of the hip, relax and come down. Breathe all the way into the belly, let the head come down toward the floor. Full breath in, long exhale out. Slowly start to rise back on up. And then again, simply changing. This time, draw the right shin across and the left shin comes on top, sitting up nice and tall, taking the space, maybe just crossing the ankles or the shins, taking the feet a little further forward. When you're ready, hands either side of the legs, walking them forward, soften down to the floor. So as you can imagine, when you first come down, maybe the hips feel okay to begin with. But you find in time as you settle into the space that you get a different kind of pressure, a different kind of sensation through the hips. Breathe all the way into the belly. Long inhale. Full exhale. Inhale, slowly rising up. All the way back. From here, rock back onto your bottom, uncross the ankles and extend the legs forward. Just pointing through the toes, flexing, pointing. So we're going to come into a seated twist from here, okay? So you're going to take your right hand underneath your right leg. You're going to take hold of the left ankle and you're going to draw the left ankle to the outside of the right hip. Now, if you're quite tight through the hips and you're already feeling that this is where you're going to stay, then that's fine. Draw the right heel in towards the front of the left shin, sitting up nice and tall. If you can keep both sit bones down into the floor, then you can pick up your right foot, take it to the outside of the left thigh. Big toe pressing down into the floor, sitting up nice and tall. Full breath in. Long exhale out. All right, so if you are pregnant or menstruating, then you can take this first option of a open twist. So you're just going to take your left hand back and behind you, fingertips to the floor. You're going to reach your right hand up towards the sky. As you exhale, turn the body from the torso up. So it's the belly button up, torso up. Turn the body from the belly button up over toward the left. Take your right elbow to the inside of the knee, pressing knee into elbow, elbow into knee, and just gently twisting, using the upper body strength to twist over toward your left. Keep the hips facing forward. Try not to twist through the hips. Everything's coming from the belly button up. Gazing out over your back left shoulder. Breathe all the way into the belly. Full breath in. Long exhale out. Now staying here in your open twist if you would like that first option, or inhale, turn your head back to center and release your arms. You're going to come straight to the other side. So you're going to take your right hand behind your right hip, left hand reaching up, taking the left elbow to the outside of the knee. Remember, keep pressing big toe on the right side down into the floor and start to twist from the belly button up over toward the right. Nice. Keep reaching through crown of head. The spine is long, lifting up. Smooth breath in, pressing elbow into knee, knee into elbow, and gazing out over your back shoulder. One more breath, releasing the hand to the thigh if you like, or just using that to counterlever, press and open. Slowly turn your head back to center and release. Nice. Rock back onto your bottom, uncross the legs, and we'll change sides. So you can simply change sides if you'd like, or if you need that option to come through it again, you're this time taking the left arm underneath the left leg, take hold of the right ankle to the outside of the hip, drawing the left heel in towards the shin, staying nice and high if you like, or taking the foot to the outside, making sure that both sit bones are sitting down firmly into the floor, sitting nice and tall. Remembering the open twist if you're pregnant or menstruating and not going too deep. So you're taking your right hand to the floor, fingertips reach down, inhale, left hand comes up. As you exhale, pressing the big toe of the left foot down into the floor, press elbow into knee, knee into elbow as you counter over toward your right. Breathing there, twisting through the belly. Full breath in, looking out over your back shoulder. Long exhale out, everything coming from the belly button up, grounding down through the sit bones, pressing through the big toe on your left foot. One more breath. If you're staying here, or we're going to come onto the other side, taking your head back to center, releasing the arms, left fingertips come back behind left hip, right hand reaches up, elbow to the outside of the knee, twisting over toward your left this time. Using that counter lever, keep pressing through the left foot, keep reaching through the crown of the head. Full breath in, press the shoulders toward the hips, spine is long. Long exhale out, one more breath. Gazing out over your back shoulder. Inhale, turn your head back to center. Exhale, release the arms. Nice, rock back onto your bottom, uncross the legs. And then from here, just gently taking some window wipers. So just dropping the knees over to one side as you exhale. Inhale back to center and hips over, knees over towards the other. Inhale back to center. Let's take a few of these. Just window wiping out the hips. And then we're going to make our way onto our backs. Awesome. So from here, just coming to lay on your back. If you've got your eye pillow, making sure that it's nice and close. We're going to recline down onto our back all the way. Taking our final posture for today, Shavasana, a nice resting posture, also known as corpse pose, as we lengthen the whole body down to the floor. Take the feet hip width apart, toes rolling away from each other. Take your arms alongside the body with the palms to face up. Keep the back of the neck nice and long, head resting to the floor, and relax the outer arms and shoulders back down to the mat. Soften through the belly and feel the whole back of the body surrender to the floor. Closing down your eyes, just feeling the breath flowing in and out of the body. Letting go of any desire to control the breath, just allowing it to move through naturally. Just allow your thoughts to settle, become still. Don't worry if they start to perk up in your position of your Shavasana. If you've got your eye pillow, popping it over the eyes and relaxing down. So this is simply letting go, surrendering to the moment, allowing the breath like waves to just float in, through, and out of the body effortlessly. Just noticing the rhythm, noticing the softness, and noticing the space, focusing on the space between the eyebrows. One point to just relax and let go of all your thoughts. This takes time. Thoughts will always perk up, arise. Thoughts will always arise. It's in our practice to just let go of our attachment to those thoughts, to those stories, and just surrender. Let's settle into some silence, some stillness. Just feeling the space, and I will bring you out of this when it's time. So don't worry. Let your thoughts go and just be in your Shavasana. And slowly awakening, coming back to the space inside the room. Just hearing the sounds inside the room closest to you, and any sounds outside the room a little further away. So to bring awareness back into the body by gently wiggling through the fingers, through the toes, maybe rolling through the wrists, pointing and rolling through the ankles. If you like, take your arms up and overhead, take a full body stretch, lengthening the body out. And then taking the arms overhead, alongside the body, relax the body down. Slowly draw the knees in towards the chest, one by one, hugging the knees in, releasing your lower back. And then slowly release the shin, make your way over onto your right hand side before pressing up to a comfortable seated position to rejoin me. Take your hands to your heart center, thumbs point back toward the heart, and close down your eyes once more. And as you arrive, just taking this time to have gratitude and deep love for your practice today, knowing that the sankalpa that you said at the start of your practice, there to guide you on the mat and off the mat. Thank you for joining me in today's practice. To end, we'll bow the forehead toward the fingers. As together we say, Namaste. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed your practice and that you can subscribe to my channel so you get notified of more amazing classes to come. Thank you.